Well, let's take a look at installing a Pawl on a Webley MkV. Hi folks, thanks for coming over to see the video. Basically what we're going to do today is we're going to try to correct a little bit of an operating problem we have with the Webley MkV. This is the gun I purchased at Wanenmacher's in April of 2018. And when I got it, it's had this problem ever since I got it. And the problem is that the cylinder lockup is poor. Now, this lockup, that's not a lockup issue because there's a secondary stud down here, and all that does is keep the barrel from counter-rotating. It is not meant to lock the barrel up. So basically, when you really go to use this and you squeeze the trigger, it's not really locked up as well as I think it could be. Now, that's not a horrible lockup for a gun that's as old as this gun is, but I think it could be better. Now, the only two things that play in this, when you are trying to make this gun lock, there are two things that come into play. One is the little pawl that comes up to grab here inside these catches, and I don't see that this is worn at all. This does not look like it is worn, so I don't think it's a cylinder issue. And of course, secondarily, you have the hand, which comes up here, and so the hand pushes up and forces the cylinder against this pawl that sticks up from the trigger. It's just part of the trigger, and that's all that keeps that cylinder locked up. Now, a MkV is not a really prolific gun. There's not a lot of them out there because they went pretty quickly. They went to the Mark VI. And I had a hell of a time trying to find a Pawl. And I would recommend to you, if you're doing any kind of British revolver work, that you take a look for the thing called the Small Arms Identification Series, and these are little small books, and they're written by Ian Skennerton. Because what I was able to find out, if we go to page 23, that page was replaced because it was misprinted. See, it was printed without the pictures, and then they replaced it with the pictures. What you find out is that the Pawls, there's two different Pawls. There's this one on the left, sorry. There's this one on the left, and there's this one on the right. And this one handles the Mark I and the Mark I with some modification. But from the second Pawl is good for all the revolvers 2 through 6. So I was able to find one for a 4, I believe it was, and that's the one we're going to try to put in today. In addition to having identification information, there's exploded drawings, service, armorer's notes, accessories, fittings, the whole 9 yards. In fact, if we run out to page 40, I'm going to be using this myself, and here is a whole page on how to strip and assemble one of these. Tells you what tools you need, and it gives you the detailed disassembly instructions and warns you what to watch out for. So I will be using this during the course of tearing this firearm down. Unfortunately, I don't have everything that they have. They have a thing called an axis, which is a way of getting springs and stuff out. There's a thing called a cramp. I have no idea what a cramp is, but we'll see if we can make do with parts. So we'll see what happens. So basically, we have the new part that came in, and I got this part. Where did I get this from? This came from Apex Parts, and believe me, I looked for these things for months before somebody finally got them in stock. So I was really happy to find them in stock finally. What do we want to do? Get this off of here. Oh, this is one of those crappy ones. It doesn't have the box doesn't have the tear strip on it, so I'm going to have to do it the old. Oh, maybe is that it? No. Nope, no tear strip on it. So I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way to get this out of here. I'm not exactly sure why we needed this huge box to put this little extractor in. I mean, this little hand in it. But anyway, so. Oh, I guess it's because they sent me something else. Oh, they sent me, isn't that cute? They sent me a Christmas ornament as part of this. Isn't that neat? a little holiday Christmas ornament. I'll dig it out here. There you go. So here you go from Apex Gun Parts. A little Christmas tree bauble. Isn't that funny? Okay. So I wondered why they put that, because as you can see, it's not. We're not talking a huge part here. It's a little tiny thing. So throw that stuff away, and we'll pull that off of the paper. Got all this paperwork that says how many millions of dollars I had to spend to get this thing, and oh well. Okay, and I also got a sticker. So now I got another new gun sticker I can put in my gun sticker collection. Now, this little part is my understanding. It's going to be a bitch to put this in. So we'll start it up, and we'll see how it goes. I don't, I'm not really. What do you call it? Hopeful that this is going to be real fast. So the first thing the instructions say is to remove the hand grips. So we'll pull off the hand grips. Okay, that's one. I don't know if you remember, but I did replace these hand. I think these are the ones I replaced. Yeah, I think I replaced these hand grips. So there you go. Get the hand grip out. And then let's go get the book out, and we'll open it up to page 40. So first you take out the screws. I'm looking for a place to put the book where I can see it, where it's not in your way. Okay, so the next thing is to remove the stock screws left and right. Then remove the screws in the trigger guard. So these are the trigger guard screws. I don't know if this is the right size screwdriver. Yeah, we're good. So we'll take out the trigger guard screws. There are the two screws that hold in the trigger guard. Put them right in with the trigger guard. And then it says to screws guard, trigger and guard. I don't know what that means. So I guess the trigger would be trigger with Pawl. So it said screws guard. I took out the screws, I took the guard, trigger and guard. I think it depends on whether or not you have the, if you have the, which model, which order you do some of this stuff. So I'm going to take out the screw. So it's, I think it says screws, guard, trigger, and guard. So here's the screw for the trigger, and now we should be able to. We can rotate it down, but we can't take it out because there's there must be a pin in there holding it. So, or actually, it's connected to other stuff. So I guess we'll just leave it alone. Okay. Then it's just to take out the mainspring. So, in order to take out the mainspring, which is here, what it says is ease the stud out of the seating. Be careful to prevent the spring flying out. Cock the hammer past the fork of the cramp over the spring. Force the fork of the cramp over the spring. Release the hammer. So you put the spring. Release the hammer. Now, as far as I can see, what we're going to do, there's a, oops, yep, that was it. So we we just push the spring up. There's a little detent that keeps it down inside there, and then we're just going to walk it off carefully and try not to F it up. Okay, so there's the spring. Okay, so we have the main spring out. So now we're going to get the auxiliary spring out of the seating. And that's probably this guy here, but I don't know where that goes. And there, it has a seat in here. But it really seems to me like you should get the side plate off first. Oh, there's no side plate. Okay, that's why there's no actual plate here. This is all one piece. All right, well, this is going to be exciting. So, and this may be able to get us out with the Pawl. So the spring, we got the main spring. There's supposed to be an auxiliary spring in here. Auxiliary screw, spring main, auxiliary screw. I wonder what the auxiliary screw is. Auxiliary screw. Boy, I know the Pawl is attached to the trigger, so I think what I'm going to do is drop this forward. Yeah, definitely the Pawl is moving up and down along with this. So it looks to me like trying to see what's holding this in. Well, it looks to me like you'd almost have to take this screw out of here, or pop this pin, if that's a pin and not a, yeah, that looks like a pin. No, it might not be a pin. No, okay, it's not a pin. It's just in there. So we need to pull that out and bring it back. Get that out of there. Now we've got the trigger and the Pawl out. There we go. Okay, and here's the trigger and the Pawl. Okay, and the Pawl just has a pin that slides in here, so it's not too bad. Now getting this all back together again is going to be a real, I can see that's going to be a real nightmare. So first let's take a look at the Pawl that we have in the bag and make sure it looks like the one that's in the, because it looks a lot smaller to me. So we may not have the right part here. Okay. So it has a pin. No, they're not the. It's not the right part. See the two of them. See, one is much larger than the other. You can see that clearly if you bring this down. So that's a shame. So we have the wrong Pawl. This is probably the Pawl from the other model gun, which would be like a 38. Let's go back just for fun. We'll go back to that picture. I think it was on page 23. Yeah, because other than that, they look pretty much identical, but this is much thinner and has the yeah. So this is actually for a Mark I, not for a Mark II or a Mark V. So this is the wrong Pawl. And that's a shame. I'm going to have to go try to get another one. But it was worth a try. We'll try it again another time and see if we can find that other part. I know it's been really hard to find. So after I cleaned everything off the desk, the cat decided that he wanted to come in because he was upset that I hadn't been paying attention to him. So now he is in the position that the firearm was in. I wanted to let you guys know that after I got done cleaning up, I made a quick call to Apex because they're in a different time zone than I am. I talked to a very nice guy named Nick who immediately issued me an RMA request and said that they would attempt to try to find me the correct Pawl based on my description. So I just want to say I was on hold for quite a while, but the people at Apex were very nice about the whole thing, and are going to email me the return request, and maybe we'll not take too long to make another shot at this. So again, thanks for watching. Me and Grazio appreciate everybody's attention. You guys have a great afternoon.